Hi there, Cher Johnston here. Um, Today we're gonna do some junk journal something. So somebody asked me, she made a comment that she's learning stuff, and what do you do for a junk journal? So I have this little. This is one of the things that I like to do. I made those little snippets, and then I just put it in this. This is something that I learned from uh, Sarah Lee Armstrong. And I thought that was very cool. And I put a little snippet on it. But today we're going to do something different from that. I also wanted to show how cute are those little guys. That was probably, oh, 90s, 97, 90, something. But what we're going to do today is I have some tea dyed paper. I don't drink coffee, so I do tea dyes. And I'm going to put I just have a piece of fabric. If you have, excuse me, if you have some kind of mat, you can use a mat. But I have, excuse me, I have fabric, so I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some holes in the edge of this paper because we're going to just sew a border on the edge of the paper. So I'm gonna start, let's see, let's start half an inch from the top. And I'm gonna do marks at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. I think I'm just gonna go that far. Then I'm gonna do 1 inch and a quarter and 2 inches and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter. Yeah, there we go. Now, you could go all the way down the page. I think I've not done this before, so you're going to learn along with me. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going in. You know what? I want one more. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start at the bottom. We're just going to start there. Normally I try stuff out before I do it and practice or whatever, but not today. Today we're gonna just do this. This is a blanket stitch. I'm gonna go in at this hole, and I'm gonna wrap my thread around that needle. And I'm going to go in at this hole and wrap my thread around the needle. I am going back, right? All right. No, I didn't wrap. So one of my subscribers asked me, she says she's learning embroidery. And I gotta say, if you're watching videos and teaching yourself, kudos to you. That's not easy. I know. Um, I I'm self-taught. I taught myself from books long before there was internet, and I've taught uh, classes, and not everyone can learn just being shown once or twice. A lot of people, I have to like almost hold their hand. When I taught painting classes, I would hold their hand. I would hold the brush and do the stroke with them, do the paint stroke with them to show them how it works. Anyways, so if this doesn't work, you'll probably never see this video. But she asked me, what do you, she does junk journals, and like, what do you do with the stitches? I do a lot of, I put um, em, embroideries in my journals. Like I make a whole page and then I sew it into the journal. Um, but you don't have to do that. You can use little pieces, like the little snippets, or borders. Like, we do the let me see. I'm going to go back through. No, I don't want to do that. We do lace borders, so this would be like kind of like a lace border. So now I'm going to do a detached buttonhole where I'm just going to go, don't pull too tight, because I'm holding my thread to the left there like that. The thread's going through that loop. Again, not pulling too tight. Hold the thread to the left. All right. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go once in this long stitch here. Pull that there. Then I'm gonna go one more time in this long stitch to go to the next little short stitch. And I'll just speed this part up. I had a feeling this was going to happen. I measured from my hand to from my left hand to my right shoulder, not to my shoulder. Yeah, to my shoulder. It's about a yard, I think. And then I put beeswax on it, and I had a feeling that trying to untwist the thread. Okay, I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be enough, which is why we're doing half a page and not the whole thing. I suppose you could use an entire yard or a meter and do the whole page, but I don't think you can end off and start a new thread. So, there's that. But I would probably do this on a piece of fabric and then just glue the fabric to the page. Would have been a better idea. I do sometimes I have a punch. My neighbors. I have a punch that makes holes in the paper that are big enough to do ribbons. I do that sometimes. Mostly I just attach lace. I think we all do that.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. I'm going to have to isn't that nice? I kind of like it. I'm going to have to glue that down because, well, yeah. Or I could just leave that hanging. That would be fine, I guess. So that's what it looks like on the other side. And that's there. So I have another idea, but I'm going to do it on fabric. I'll be back. So we're talking about junk journals and I'm going to make another thing for a journal. What I have is, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches wide. I should have measured it. Doesn't matter. It's however wide. I made it as long as my book page, like 8.5 inches. I folded it in half and then in half again. I'm going to make something that's going to go over the edge of a page. Okay. So I want to do blah, blah, blah. I want to do these things. This is a All right, now what I want to do is I want this to go just a little bit further. So I had this idea for a. Did I mention that somebody asked me about? She said she does junk journals, and she said, what do I do with this?" Well, I do all kinds of things, and I just happened to see. Where's my little serendipity? I just happened to see another YouTuber who did this um ah um uh page, not page, a trim like for garments, an edge trim like for the bottom of pants or the cuff of a sleeve, or you know. Anyway, so that's what made me decide to do this, because you know, so what I'm going to do here is a chain stitch. I have here blah 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 Sue Spargo Wonderful Threads. Wait, Eleganza Pearl number 3. So a pearl number 3, I think, is sort of similar to 6 strands of embroidery thread, maybe even 8 strands or something. But and I forgot to wrap the thread, so I'm going to do this. But I want nice thick thread because I'm gonna do. I saw somebody else do this like this. Let's try this. This is a different kind of chain stitch. I think this is a cable chain. I don't think I like it that way. We're not going to do that again. We're going to do this. So I moved my camera because I'm thinking it'll be easier for you to see over my left hand shoulder. Well, you're not over my left hand shoulder, you're almost right in front of my face. But I'm trying to angle the camera a little bit so that you're not looking from the top exactly, and you're not looking from the right hand side. Because if you're looking from the right hand side, then the hand gets in the way. Anyway, jibber jabber, jibber jabber, jibber jabber. I'm trying to clean some sometimes. Sometimes when I try to clean, I put things away and then I go to look for it later and go, no, what did I do with that? This Sashiko thread and needle that I use when I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm sewing on my thing. And that kept getting like moved around from here and there, and because I haven't been sewing on it, I've been crocheting lately, making a sweater for my niece. And but I wanted it today to work on this. I want to use it for this. And I can't find it. Don't know where it went. Also wanted, I have a little whatchamajiggy. You know those things. I have a hair straightener that I use like an iron to instead of ironing ribbon, I can use this hair straightener. I can just sit on my butt while I'm watching TV. And I wanted to use it to iron some hexagons that I'm making. Can't find it. Oh, what to do, what to do. All right. Now that we're at the end of this, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this off and get a different thread. I'm using this big bulky thread because I'm hoping I'll have to do fewer stitches. And see now, if this was going to show on your book page, like if you were going to glue this down to a book page with this at the edge, that could show and it wouldn't really look horrible. So I'm going to make a long piece, not too long, because I can actually this is why I don't usually thread needles on camera, because my eyes are not young anymore, and they don't see as well as they once did. And I sometimes do wacky, weird things. Okay, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. All right, I'm going to do the same stitch that I did on the other. All right, I'm going to do this is a quilter's knot. You just hold it like that, wrap around, pull through. There we go. I'm going to do the same stitch that I did on the one that I just showed you, that I did hours ago and got distracted and got so distracted. Okay, I may, okay, let's do this. This is a detached chain stitch. I was just watching somebody this morning do I don't remember what it was called, but it was a different kind of stitch, kind of like this, but different. What are you doing? You don't need to get in that shot. Okay. Now I'm gonna go underneath here, and I'm gonna turn And I'm going to move the elbow, and then I'm going to start over again on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to take the needle down outside and kind of anchor that down a little bit. There we go. Kind of nice. All right. Instead of doing every single one, I think I'll do every other one. Let's see. Yeah. And then I'm going to come back and put knots in the center or something. Anyway, I am going to do that and I'll come back. All right, you guys, I realize it's been like 2 seconds for you. But it's, there's this book called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. It's a children's book. That's how my mind works. Anyway, I saw this, this is my desk. And it reminded me of this quote. So I had to do this and then take a picture, which I just showed you. Then I thought there's another quote about sewing. Like I was sewing when it wasn't cool. I used to sew when I was in high school with my mother in the kitchen listening to the radio. So I'm gonna do a sewing book. Let me back up a little bit so you can see this. I'm gonna do a sewing book, and I have this thing, and so I thought, oh, I'll do this and I'll put a quote on it. Then I decided I would put that on there because that's something that I made for a sewing project that I'm working on, and it's too tiny. Look at how tiny those little hexies are. Anyways, so then I also printed out some pictures. There's my kitty. I just thought she was sitting there like that. She just looked so pretty. And this is my, I'm just going to call her my niece. Her name is Hazel. She was named after my grandmother. And there's the skirt that I made. These are for my grandson, my granddaughter. I bought her these pointer thingies because she asked for them. Anyways, those are for my, my junk journal that I'm working on. And I have wraps from, because I also made these things. These are yo-yos. Someone posted that I could get a die cut to cut circles. And I went, oh yeah, I could. And that's how I made these. I cut circles, and then I realized that if they're big enough, you should just use papers. So I cut some papers and I made this. And these are for my quilt that I'm going to be working on. Anyways, that is not even what this video is all about. This was going to be about the the junk journal. What do you do with a junk journal? So I made this, and I was gonna do. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. All right. So this, I'm just gonna use this to show you what I would do with this. This is a chain stitch with those. Oh gosh, I just did this. I showed you this. So I'm gonna fold it over, and then I was thinking, I get to thinking about different things and just go in circles. I also crochet, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to add a crocheted lace along the edge? And then I went, oh, you're just being ridiculous. You should just finish what you started. So that's what we're going to do next. I did these dots to do a feather stitch. And I realized that I told somebody I was going to show them some razzle and dazzle, and I haven't done that. So I'm going to get some razzle or dazzle and a threaded needle. I'll be right back. I swear, right back. I'm going to do very often with this stitch and in crazy quilting, I think what they do is they just do a detached chain stitch. That's what I'm going to do. Right inside that little feather. You know, I think in the future, I would not use these two together. And I certainly wouldn't use them with this. It makes this yarn look kind of ratty tatty. All right. And I'll do a picture of this before I post this. All right. Okay, so these are the two little page edge things, I guess you'd call them. I don't know if I like this one. I might never use it. Might be okay. Anyways, this I do like. This I like a lot. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.